Welcome to this week's edition of the mma-analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel, joined by New Sean. Please know when the hittable hit. Okay, is that a shot at Wes?
I think Wes is going to be on Brunson. I'm just that's one of the things Wes is famous for is the Brunson memes.
If Brunson loses, there's definitely going to be one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Brunson's in a hot streak. You know?
Yeah, that's what I said. If he loses.
Yeah. He's on a hot streak, but it's always in the back pocket of pulling a Brunson and having
how sweet is this mug, though?
That's a big old mug.
I put in a truly mango and a truly passion fruit together, so it's like all tropical.
Man.
Are those 355 cans or 473? Or you guys do shit in ounces?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is that, the milliliter?
Is that like 16 ounces? What's 16 ounces?
What are you talking about, centimeters?
No, milliliters.
Kidding.
Damn it. Yeah, 16 ounces is 473, Brad.
This is 12 ounces?
Yeah, which is 355.
12 ounces.
Fair enough. So it's like
that's
a little can of beer.
You got a 2-4 right there.
Yeah. When you buy stuff in the stores, a lot of times like Truly's or regular beer stuff, it's usually 12 ounces. But you go to bar, you usually get pints.
What are you talking about? You need to come to Canada and buy stuff in our stores. I know it looks small in my hand because I've got these giant hands, but
man hands.
I've actually got very
72-ounce beer.
Hey, did Luca just join the podcast for a second?
Yep.
God, he's getting ready. He's still getting ready. He's about to do it. The picture coming. Oh man, it's been quite the ride. The anticipation. I can barely sleep at night.
So much foreplay.
We're gonna have
10 hours of tape study.
We're gonna have to get him on the podcast to talk about tape study and how you do effective tape study.
Well, obviously, because we don't know how to, so we need to learn lessons from the GOAT.
That's right.
He did. He went on the podcast a few times, didn't he?
Oh yeah, you guys did the trivia when you guys did like off weeks when you did like trivia or whatever.
Yeah, it was fun.
It
was fun.
Plus,
all right, Brad, how are you doing?
You had the basement episode too. Luca wasn't there, but his basement.
No, he was there, but he just wasn't on the podcast.
That was a good. Did that Andrew or Sean?
That was Andrew.
Andrew, yeah, that was great. We got a couple people. Josh Gentry, hey man, how's it going? Vegas, 2 months.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
I'm good. Yeah, not really much to add. Well, actually, I'm getting a temporary foster dog for a week tomorrow, and then we'll probably get like an actual
part or what?
Yeah, and then we'll get an actual foster dog after that, probably.
Look at you,
tester.
Yeah,
look at you. So we got LR saying hi, big Trump hands. There you go. Yeah. And then our friend Eric Brunson looking for the Saeed bets.
Oh, Saeed.
Always looking for the Saeed bets.
We're bringing up all the old
some
people.
Darts.
We got Baby Dick Carey, Andrew, a lot of stuff there. The bets on the Saeed.
Yeah.
Brian Foster dog. There you go. Good one. We did have a card last week. I was telling the guys, I don't like when the card's like a free card. Like pay-per-view, it's like, I'm really excited. You're into it. You're paying for it. Well, some people are paying for it. It's big cards. It's okay if I can stay up late. When you got a card that's what time did that card end? Like after 1 a.m. on the East? Like for a free shitty card?
I was asleep by the time it ended, so.
Yeah, I had an early tea time on Sunday, so I did not see the last two fights. I woke up to a losing bet and then headed off to the golf course. But overall, I had a pretty good night. I thought the card was okay. There was some interesting moments, I guess. Definitely some surprises in there, but we can kick right off in the catchweight division. Oh, God. Fucking losers. Mono Martinez defeated Guido Canetti. Split decision. The fight happened. Nothing to add there. It happened.
Yeah.
Happened.
We said that he shouldn't be like a minus 300 favorite against anybody, and turns out he probably shouldn't. But got away with it.
Though.
Yep.
Got away with it.
He won. And then we had my boy. I tried to beg you guys to bet this fight. I begged you guys in the podcast last week. Played out
I thought
exactly,
this was definitely the way it was going to go.
It played out exactly how I thought it would. Well, I mean, stupidity obviously plays a part in the fight game. Pat Sabatini, my man, defeating Jabal Embers by heel hook. So many things to say about Embers' performance here. One, why are you on the ground? That's your, what are you doing there? Why are you there? And then when the shit was getting all scrambled, he's like, this seems to be the time to go for the toe hold.
Absolutely.
Because when you're facing a guy who's like 30 times better than you at jiu-jitsu, it's best to get in a leg lock war. And Sabatini did it. And, and obviously not the best performance, but I think this guy is going to win a lot of fights. I do. I think he's going to improve a little bit. And he's got good jiu-jitsu and he's got the wrestling. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll cash it as an underdog, though. I was happy about it.
When was the last time a toe hold actually worked in the UFC? Like, on the last one that I think of is Frank Mir and Tank Abbott.
Oh, God. That might be
going way back.
That could be the last one.
That might be the only one.
Because it doesn't work.
It doesn't. It just, how big of a pussy you have to be to tap out to that?
Yeah. Like,
it's kind of like when you
Achilles lock.
It's kind of like losing like a bulldog choke. It's like, this is too much. like if there's certain amount of submissions. It's just like you just gave up. You don't want to deal with this anymore. And that's definitely one of them. But Sabatini moves on. There was a women's flyweight fight. It happened. JJ Aldridge
went to decision.
Somebody. Yeah, well, it's shocking.
Got a little sketchy, but you always can count on the flyweight ladies to bring it. So they brought it home to decision, and that was good.
Next one, light heavyweight division, Dustin Jacoby defeated Darren Stewart by knockout. We were kind of right. I mean, we were a little bit right.
Yeah, for how long?
Darren Stewart wrestled the shit out of him.
He did. He wrestled the shit out of him. So I'm going to count that as a win.
Yep.
Oh. I think that's fair. It's a win.
I mean, good on Jacoby though. At least he's actually learned how to stand back up and not just get laid on or submitted immediately. So
he still has no wrestling game per se, but at least he can get up and he is good in the feet. I mean, when that guy's in space with people, he's gonna win a lot of fights.
Yep.
Coming into his prime at 33 years old.
And then easily the coolest fight of the night, for many reasons. Middleweight division, Wellington Turman defeated Sam Alvey by split decision. I think so many favorite parts to this fight. But my favorite part was when Sam Alvey lost all 3 rounds pretty clearly, and then after the decision read, started screaming, "The judges are bullshit. Fuck this shit. This is blah, blah, blah," and all this stuff. In a fight he won.
Can't add, Lance. It was hard for him to figure out. He thought that he could lose all 3 rounds, yet still win.
And he's screaming and yelling, look like an idiot. He hasn't won a fight in 7 fights in a row now. He hasn't got a win. Press conference, Dana White, we got to think about Kevin Lee's future. We don't know if there's a place for him here. Also, Dana White, we like guys like Sam Alvey. They bring it.
They sure do.
I mean,
they sure do.
Sam Alvey has not won a fight in 7 straight. Kevin Lee lost 2 fights, and Dana White wants him gone. Alvey, we're here for more, and it's because like Alvey doesn't get paid shit. Probably he's like basically a UFC PR person, so he stays. And Turman's also dog shit. Like he is
so bad.
He's so bad.
Yeah.
With some fighters, you swear they have some dirt on Dana or something, because there's some ladies out there, there's a couple dudes out there that should not be on the roster, and people are getting cut before them, and you're just like, I know you don't make much, but there's still cheaper replacements. There's always cheaper replacements.
Yep.
That was the somebody just mentioned it in the chat, but like, they actually took points for eye pokes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
People were complaining about it too. I thought people complaining that there shouldn't have been 2 points and the one wasn't that bad. I'm like, yeah, he got him. Like the one time maybe it wasn't like the worst eye poke and whatever, but he got him several times. And
before that,
he was literally just like feeling out the fight like this the whole time. It's like there has to. I love that. Like I think it was Tagnoni, who's not the greatest referee by any means, but like to me, it's like I don't care if there's a bad stoppage as much as like whatever. I'm not friends or family with these people. If they kick an extra shot, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I will lose sleep if a guy is literally holding onto the cage with both arms trying to cheat. Like, take points. Like, Wellington Turman, if he even has coaches and they're going to talk to him, should be like, hey, we need to spend the entire next month teaching you how to not poke people in the eyes because you're not going to win.
Keep your hands shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I'd rather a ref that has some iffy stoppages, but at least enforces the rules. People are going to make mistakes, and it's easy to give refs shit. And like when everyone says judge, it's hard to judge. You got to give them a break. You know how hard it is. I don't buy that for a second. You have eyeballs. You watch it. It's not fucking hard to judge. There's not stress in that situation. For early and late stoppages, I do have more sympathy for the referees who have issues or make mistakes. Now, it can be worse for your health when they make a mistake versus judges, but that's split second. Like, and you're right there, you're over it. Like, in your heart, your adrenaline's pumping. I can see where mistakes can be made. With judges, I can't see it. But at least with penalties, if I'm a referee, you can at least enforce penalties without having this, like, split-second decision if this guy has ate too many punches or things like that. It's easy to enforce the rules. It's not as easy to make sure you're stopping a fight at the correct time because it is dicey.
He took another point for eye pokes on contenders last night too.
Yeah, it was deserved.
He is putting an end. Himself. He's the only one that's trying to end
That's
eye
how
pokes.
you're going to stop it.
I know, but we need some more buy-in from some other refs.
Now, to me, though, I will say, like, eye pokes are accidental for the most, 99% of the time, let's say. Eye pokes are accidental. I'll say dick kicks 95% of the time, they're accidental. Cage grabs 0% of the time are accidental. So why do we see points taken for cage grabs or for dick kicks and eye pokes all the time, but we almost never see points from cage grabs? That's the weird part, because that is purposely cheating. If you look at any other sport, if you purposely cheat, if you're holding a guy, if you're a lineman in football, if you're tackling a receiver making a catch, if a guy is going up for a layup and you shoot a double leg on them, you are purposely trying to cheat and you will be punished for it. In MMA, they warn you 7 times. Like, imagine in football, like, receiver goes back, cornerback tackles, and ref goes, don't let that happen again. Next play, another bomb, same thing. This is a stern warning. If you cheat on purpose, it happens again. One more time. Like, could you imagine if any sport had that kind of rule set where a person is purposely cheating with no penalty? It's an advantage to cheat, and that's the part they got to fix to me.
Yeah,
I would say go ahead, Brad.
I was just gonna say that I like how the guys on commentary, who are usually terrible wrestlers, they're like, no, it's an instinct to put your hand up and have your fingers go through and then grab onto the fence.
As a wrestler?
Pull yourself back up. No, the guys that are shitty wrestlers, like
that aren't
Belder and
wrestlers.
Bisping, they're always like, no, it's like an instinct. They're not trying to do it.
I thought you said a wrestler. I was like, a wrestler is used to grabbing the cage. What?
No, I don't think I've ever heard Cormier say that, and I hate Cormier.
Well, also, like, you can say that for any sport, right? If you're going up to defend a pass, wouldn't your instinct be to push the guy away from catching the pass? You know, if you're trying to, if you're
you'll learn.
If you're an offensive lineman and the defensive lineman is beating you, wouldn't your instinct be to grab them and stop them? That doesn't mean they're allowed to do it. Like,
the one difference about cage grabs compared to those other fouls is, like, the hilarious thing is they don't even do this, but I would say that there's kind of a half measure you can do. You just put them in side control from the bottom if they like for the first time they grab.
Give them the advantage,
but they don't even do that.
Yeah,
like they should at least at the very first time they do it. You should
literally
put the person
on the wrist
who fucking did it in put on their back and the other person in side control.
Let them finish,
but they don't even do that.
Well, and that would actually be similar in a way to like a pass interference call in football, right? You if you cheat to stop a catch in football, it's a spot foul and you get the ball there. same thing for fighting, right? If a guy is in the middle of a takedown and you cheat to stop that takedown, well, you're starting on the bottom with a fully locked in rear naked choke. I think that's only
perfect.
Fair there.
Yep.
We did have LR with some more comments. Yet Rogan did have COVID and he killed it with the horse medicine?
The horse paste. The horse paste.
Yeah.
And now, the only side effect is that he's shitting his pants in grocery stores now. I mean,
but shitting blood is metal. So
I love the people that say I will not put stuff in my body that is not approved and is experimental. Are the same people that are like
veterinary drugs.
Yeah, this works. They passed the meth as well. I'd like the meth.
I mean, that's usually the combo you go with.
Man, fucking the world right now. Anyway, let's move up. Middleweight division, Abdul Razak Al Hassan defeated Alessio De Shikiro, whatever Italian. Vicious head kick. I mean, if he was, I know, Brad, you were mad you didn't just autoplay the round one there.
Yeah, it was dumb.
But
when he got that rage out.
Yeah, I mean that's it. We said if he's going to win in round one, and it was a massive price, and didn't play it.
We're stupid.
Yep. That was good. You finally got the rage out from getting
where we're not stupid. Well, I think Brad is still stupid. Next fight, middleweight division, Gerald Meerkat defeated Makhmed Muradov by submission, second round. I did not bet this before the fight. We talked about it on the podcast last week, and we all talked about it. We thought it would be, if we were going to play it, this would be a good prop to play.
Yes.
And I think it was like plus 800 or so when I looked and I was making my bets earlier in the week. So like 10 minutes before the card, I was just looking through the lines or whatever, and it got up to like plus 1,000. And I was like, yeah, like that's go time. So I put a bet on that, and that completely made my night. It took me from a losing night to a winning night. And you can't even be surprised at this. Like, if he doesn't get knocked out and a fight does hit the ground, like, he's always going to have a shot to get a finish. And these Russians, man, they're just
sharpest.
Just a bunch of quitters.
Like,
they suck.
Yeah. And he faded. I mean, he was, regardless if he doesn't get this. I mean, I was just happy that he got the sub, or like when he did, because if that fight would have just kept planting the feet, he was going to knock him out. Like, Muradov was done. Like, he had nothing. Like, he trained for like 14 to 15 seconds on his cardio this camp.
I was on Muradov, but then I hedged with the old sub plus 950. So the one-time hedging makes sense, and it worked out for me because that would have been very bad.
Brad,
I'm dumb.
This is right up your alley too. Taking a 10 to 1. So like when I take like big props, because I kind of bet those props a good bit of like maybe it's a big underdog and he only has one path to win. Like those are the ones I kind of play a little bit. I do that with round props sometimes too. Like you said with Al Hassan, because you only have one path to win, and in reality, like Al Hassan's only path to win was a quick knockout. Meerkat's only path to win was a submission, and they both.
I mean, it turned out that Meerkat's only path to win wasn't a submission.
He could have
not
beating the shit out of him.
He could, yeah. I mean, but when you're that gassed, like it doesn't matter. Like if there's a live body in front of you, like I mean, Muradov looked great in the first round. Like he did, and tip of the cat to Meerkat. Like he took a beating. That just shows you that Russian number 7 has the greatest power in the history of the universe. Coming for that strap.
The GOAT.
Who's he fighting again next? Oh, the Leech.
Magny? Oh, the Leech.
The Leech. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I wanted to wrestler, but
I know
he's probably
he'll get like a takedown or two in that fight, and then we're gonna see what those COVID lungs can do.
COVID's not real.
That's fair.
Maybe Rogan can pass him some of the paste.
Yeah.
Well, the funny part with the Rogan COVID thing, Rogan was supposed to be here this weekend doing a stand-up show at our big arena with Chappelle, and they had to cancel it.
Why didn't they just do it with Chappelle?
I know. It's funny when people are like, oh, are you going to this? It's Rogan and Chappelle. And I was like, if Rogan wasn't going.
Bringing all the bros out.
It's weird that they're like really good friends when you look at like their personalities and like what they believe in, everything else. Like they are just polar opposites of each other. Like it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, but they're rich. They have that in common, and they're comedians.
They are rich comedians. Anyway, middleweight division, Andre Petroski defeated Michael Gilmore, knockout. This is a tale of a fight. Like Petroski came out like he does. He is a very good wrestler. He has that Ryan Bader style of takedown where everything's just a blast through with his blast doubles, and he's really, really strong. And then he gassed horribly in the second round. And then the third round starts, and he had a full tank. And he just beat the piss out of him, and I love that finish. That was with the gift wrap. Like that was and he has to work on some things. I think like he has to work on some cardio, and he definitely has to tighten up his hands and his boxing a little bit. But this guy, like if he puts a couple of things together, like he's got some room. But I mean, this guy has the skill set to be extremely good if he tightens up a couple parts of his game.
He's also already 30, so. He can't be a prospect because he's 30.
A prospect.
Can't be He's not Shane Carwin. He can't be a prospect after 30.
This isn't heavyweight.
Yeah, I think he benefited a lot from the other guy gassing from kind of beating him up in the second round.
Skill set wise, though.
He's got good skills.
Yeah, I'm not saying this guy's going to be a champ, but I think he definitely has top 15 potential for sure.
He belongs in the UFC.
It's middleweight.
Means nothing in 2021.
He's a good wrestler. He's got good subs, good ground and pound, very good looking. I mean, that's
the number one.
That's a good looking man right there. You can't deny that. All right, let's move on here. Daniel Rodriguez defeated Kevin Lee in a decision. I don't know what you say. Kevin Lee gassed out and lost to a brawler. Like in
with
he wasn't
sketchy
even that
takedown defense.
Yeah, he wasn't even that gassed though.
You
talked about how like he was tired, but he wasn't gassed like we've seen him where it was just like, okay, I'm gassed, quit.
Yeah.
He
tried.
He tried, which is that's a good sign. But he's like the exact opposite type of wrestler, like you just said with Petroski. Where Petroski blasts through everything, Kevin Lee hits any sort of resistance on his takedowns, and it becomes like a monumental struggle to get the guy to the ground. And we were talking about cage grabs earlier. I wish we saw another angle of when Rodriguez reversed him in the second round, because it looked like he reached up on the cage and immediately had like all the leverage in the world to switch the position there. So I'm curious. I think there was a little bit of a cage grab happening there, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think
you ain't trying.
When you look at like Lee versus Petroski and like the wrestling, right? That's the level of wrestling. I don't think it's as much like Lee's not as hard. He's not or any of that, or he's just not tough enough to toughen out a takedown. I think it's just Lee's wrestling is good for MMA, but the wrestling of a D1 top level guy is just different skill set. When you're in the wrestling room, you're facing D1 guys all day, every day. You basically feel like you're dead, and then you got to get a takedown. Like half the drills you do in wrestling are like you've been wrestling for an hour and a half. You're so tired you can't move. And like the final drill is like you get 4 guys lined up. It's like 10 seconds left. Get the 2, get the 2, get the 2 when you can barely stand up. In wrestling, they teach you to push it to the limits and almost die. Like if I were to explain someone wrestling practice, I was like, think about like if you haven't eaten and you're stranded on a desert for 3 days, and then you have to go through the most 2-hour grueling thing you can think of where people are trying to hurt you. Like that's what it is.
I wasn't even close to the level you were at, but the warm-up in wrestling practice was designed to gas you out so that you're gassed for the rest of practice and learning how to wrestle like that. Like it's a completely different mindset.
It's brutal. I mean, like we used to warm up, it could be like sprints, ski jumps, like all the cardio type stuff. That was always just the very easiest part of the practice, right? And then we'd usually hit in like 30 minutes of cardio, and then we'd have like 30 minutes of like drills, like maybe we're showing a couple moves, Like maybe it's a top move, bottom move, a takedown. We're drilling for 30 minutes, and then we would just go live for like literally 1 hour straight, like just nonstop. We're going live for an hour straight. We would do these like groups of 4, and like you number off 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like, all right, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4, like back to back in 2-minute matches, just like that. So you're facing a fresher guy and you're tired, and then they try to do everything just to break you. Like that is what wrestling is. Like that's why wrestlers are psychotic and why they go into MMA, not just because of the skill set, but you got to be a little bit crazy to go into MMA, and wrestling kind of breeds craziness. And yes, like a D2 wrestler or whatever, like Kevin Lee, like that's still like top level wrestling, right? But it's just different than wrestling like, high level D1 and, the Big 10, ACC, Big 12, stuff like that. It's different. You're facing killers all day, every day when you're exhausted. So you're used to having struggles taking down really good wrestlers when you have nothing left in the tank.
Correct.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. Ricky Tercios defeated Brady Highstand. Split decision. I thought Tercios won. This was a fun fight.
It was the Forrest Griffin, Stephan Bonner for 2021. Didn't you hear?
Oh,
I saw people saying that, and I was just like,
people. They just want everything to be a thing.
Nothing. He's whatever. He's not going to be a champ, but he'll be fun.
He's fun. Yeah, both of those guys are fun.
Yep. I think they'll get fight. They'll both get fights.
They're the classic type of fun where they've got terrible defense and they like to throw a lot of shit.
Yep. I enjoyed the fight. That was good. And then the other tough finale, Brian Battle defeated Gilbert Urbina, choked him out. I didn't see this fight. Like I said, I had an early tea time. But I watched the highlights. Looks like he got his ass whooped and then got a submission second round. He doesn't – I watched a couple fights in the show. He doesn't seem like he's very good.
He's not.
How did he beat Petrosky? Did anyone see that fight?
He also gassed out. Yeah. So
I feel like if they fought like full camp and Petrosky got a little cardio, like I don't think that's even competitive.
I feel like if he fought this guy and he had a full camp, it wouldn't be competitive. Because this guy came in on 10 days notice or something like that?
Yeah, it was short notice. He was supposed to fight the other guy who was actually good, Gore.
Yeah.
So, and then we don't have to talk about the main event because it was obviously fixed. But Edson Barboza loses to Giga. And so do we have to take Giga seriously now? Or was this just he landed a shot? Because I heard he lost the first 2 rounds and then just landed something big. And I heard Giga was also slowing down in the 3rd round. Now, I follow a lot of gamblers who probably bet on Edson.
Every single person was on Edson.
Yeah, but I heard Giga was slowing down and then got the finish. And I don't know. I think it's you'd always know my gut when a rising prospect is going through guys. What needs to happen?
Yeah,
that's wrestling.
That is what needs to happen.
But
you're partially right. Giga won the 1st round for sure. And you know that I hate to give the Birdman credit, but
obviously.
He won the 1st round. I thought Barboza won the 2nd round.
Yep.
Giga was definitely slowing down. And he's lucky that he's got the fast twitch because his hands are not good. They're sloppy as fuck.
They're sloppy.
And the way he rocked Edson was out of some weird, he threw a bad knee that didn't do anything and then just threw a punch coming out of the clinch, and it was ugly and he ended up landing it. And it was a frustrating one to watch. But in terms of who, is Gregor busy?
Jersey Zone. That used to always be my go-to. And if it was anywhere between 135 and 155, you just say Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he would take the Gregor fight.
That's
Gregor's 155. Why are you putting me down the wrong path?
What about Emmett? Emmett would be a good fight.
No, Emmett's fucking worst. He's like on the Redskins. No. So I think there's fights that
the Washington football team.
I think there's fights that could happen I think realistically, he's going to fight like a Yair Rodriguez or, maybe Korean Zombie, maybe even Calvin Kattar. I don't know. I don't like any of those. There's no wrestlers.
There's none of those are wrestlers.
Bryce Mitchell.
So that was where I was going. If you had to ask me to pick a guy in the ranked guy in the top 15 who I'd want to face Giga, I'm not even kidding. I think Bryce Mitchell is he ragdolls him. Just
that would be fun. Giga's not taking that fight, but
there's a Josh Emmett's worst. I wouldn't mind the Arnold Allen fight, tell you the truth.
But Allen wouldn't wrestle him probably.
Dumb.
He could.
No, he'd get beaten up for 2 rounds and then pull something out of his ass in round 3.
Yeah. Well, he's calling out Max Holloway, which I don't think that. I think Max is just going to wait for the Ortega fight to be done. I think that's obvious. So then you're looking at Yair Rodriguez, which is he still in the UFC? No one in this division fights. Yair Rodriguez, Korean Zombie, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett hasn't fought since pre-pandemic.
I mean, I think that anybody who is willing to get a half step inside of Giga's kicking range is going to destroy him. So even we've seen that Calvin Kattar is very limited and he'll probably eat a bunch of kicks on the way in. But once he gets inside that range, he would absolutely piece Giga up.
Yeah.
Same thing with Holloway, except Holloway wouldn't eat all of those kicks on the way in. He probably, but yeah, it's honestly, he's got a good shot to rise up and get in title contention with the way the featherweight division looks right now.
Is Yair Rodriguez retired? Hold on, Rodriguez is fighting Max Holloway?
Is that real?
In November?
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's what it says. So. That doesn't make any sense. I guess Max wants an easy fight. Interesting.
Yeah. Sure.
So you take those 2 out. So I guess
I'm sure one of them or Yair's going to pull out of that fight. So.
Oh yeah, I think you're looking. My gut says it's going to be Korean Zombie versus Giga, and that could go honestly either way.
Zombie might actually if he grapples him.
He could tire him out.
He's one of the more likely guys to grapple him,
especially if it's a 5-rounder.
Where's Gray Maynard at? Is Gray still fighting? Is he still in the UFC? What if Mendez finishes off his bare knuckle stuff and just jumps right over and just puts Giga through the canvas? That's an idea. Let's throw it out there.
Not a terrible
one. I'd watch it.
Let's now move on to this just sham of a card, but I will always find bets. This card could have been better. The Bear Jew was supposed to be on this card, and he was going to legit retire Gustafsson, and we were going to get just a fabulous line on it. But Gustafsson saw the line, saw the movement. Everything was Craig opened it plus 175, and it went down to even money before Gus pulled out. But that sucks. And I haven't heard anything if they even tried to find a fight for Bear Jew.
No, I mean they probably tried, but
who would fight that man?
Yeah, exactly.
Jamal Hill again. You want to break something else, dude?
Jamal.
Oh, if you're so confident, bet against me then. Okay.
That was awesome.
Okay, we'll do. Thanks, man. So yeah, the card's not too great. I do like the main event. I think Brunson Till is fine for a free fight night main event. I'm cool with that. But man, this card is. I mean, Aspinall Spivak's the co-main. If that tells you anything about this card.
That was late replacement, but
still. I mean,
on Tapology, they've got the list of all of the canceled fights.
The whole card.
It's so longer than the list of the actual fights on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this probably wasn't a terrible card. If all these or most of them stayed on.
So it was Bear Jew, Gus dropped out, and then it was Ozdemir versus Ankalaev, which is a good fight.
Yeah. Perez and Schnell would have been.
Oh, that fight's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This card actually was okay before.
Yeah.
And Charles Jourdain versus Murphy, that would have been a good fight.
Yep.
I mean,
he's
Perez.
fighting, he's fighting Juicy J, baby.
Oh,
Perez Snell is going to be a good fight. I like that
is.
one. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. And we got a smaller card, right? We got 10 fights?
10 fights.
Yep. All right, bantamweight division.
Hopefully 8. So hopefully by 8 by fucking fight time.
Oh, we got 11 fights. They must have added one. Yeah. Well, it says there's an announced bout of Diakisi versus Alves. That's not real, though.
No, that one.
That was when it was going to
Alves
be in
dropped
England,
out.
and then it wasn't in England.
I also like that Alex Morono got the biggest win of his career and knocked out Cowboy, and he gets David Zawada. The UFC is a cruel, cruel bastard. All right, bantamweight division: Jonathan Martinez, Marcelo Rojo. Nushan?
Yeah, we talked about this for the last couple of weeks. There's just certain guys that shouldn't be the prices they are. This one isn't anything too insane, like we saw with Sherman being like a minus 300 or whatever the fuck he was, minus 200.
I bet on him.
Rojo is fairly tough. I know he took quite the beating from Jourdain, but that was obviously kind of late notice, up a weight class. I think he's good enough to beat Martinez. That might just be more saying how bad I think Jonathan Martinez is. His wins, he's got 4 wins in the UFC, and they might be the least impressive 4 wins out of anybody on the roster.
Frankie, I saw the signs.
Yeah, and Almeida when he's obviously, of course,
Worst Almeida.
Yeah, max worst.
So, yeah, but he also
I'll pick Rojo.
He beat Liu Pingwan in
correct
Ouija board.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I know.
He almost finished
take that
Ouija
back.
board. So you might want to slow your roll here.
Mm-hmm.
He did lose to old Soup Can.
Yeah,
And Andre Ewell.
And he got knocked dead by Davey Grant. So, I mean, do what you will with it.
I made some money on that fight, though. That was good.
Oh, yeah. I think we played Grant inside the distance on that one, too.
Yeah.
All right, Bradley.
I wish I could back you guys on this one, but, man, like, Rojo isn't good either.
I know he lost to a Canadian, Brad.
He lost
He's
to a
an
Canadian.
okay Canadian, though.
That was a good fight.
He lost to John. Yeah, but the Canadian gets punched in the face a ton in every fight.
Yeah,
Canadian.
The defense is lacking.
He is a fist magnet. He lost to John Castaneda.
That guy's good.
And like he's lost a bunch of times recently on Combache. So, I mean, not the best level of competition there either. And I don't know. This is probably going to be competitive. The line's pretty close. I can't really bet anything here.
Yeah, it's not as much about Rojo as it is about Martinez, and I'm just not a fan. Like, it seems like he doesn't take anything seriously. He misses weight all the time. He kind of looks sloppy in fights. He gets hit a lot, and I think Rojo can withstand the damage he takes, and I think Martinez can weather when you're putting it on him. And I think the one thing that Rojo showed in his debut is he can put it on guys, he can push forward, he can attack, and he can take a shot. I mean, that was a great fight. I mean, Rojo came out, looked amazing in that fight, and even when he was tired and gassed with short notice, he was able to, withstand a lot of the punishment throughout that fight. And I don't know, I was impressed by that performance on short notice. And I know Jourdain's not the greatest fighter, but he's not bad, and he's definitely better than Jonathan Martinez, and I think in the right weight class. I like Rojo a little bit here. I haven't played anything yet, but the inside the distance is like plus 350. And he finishes a lot of his wins, and I think that's not too bad for that price. So probably going to look at playing that inside the distance. All right,
he has a win in 2015 by illegal bite.
Well, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does in Arena Tour.
Castaneda's in the UFC. You should show some respect, by the way.
I know.
He's on a 1-fight winning streak.
Against Eddie Wineland.
I mean, yeah, Wineland's pretty good. He's
former WEC champion. Eddie
When's
Wineland.
he coming back? Maybe Giga can fight Wineland.
Ooh, Faber.
Move up and fight.
Fight
Oh, yeah.
Faber.
Faber can move up and fight Giga. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Lungiambulance versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Nusha?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, something like that. If I were to tell you that the Lungiambulance has as many KO wins as decision wins with that body, would you fucking believe it?
Surprising.
Yeah, it's very surprising. He's not good. Barriault is not good either. Barriault does throw a decent amount of volume, which the Lungiambulance does not. If Barriault can stay on his feet, then he can probably throw a bunch of shitty strikes to a decision win. If he gets wrestled, the Lungiambulance can win the decision. I will pick not the Canadian.
Brad, Nushan. So Lungiambulance's last fight in the fake South African Fight League, right? The fight before the UFC, it was the heavyweight division, and he went 25 minutes and won split decision at heavyweight. At heavyweight, 25 minutes. Lungiambulance at heavyweight.
He was just trying to get some ring time in,
And then that guy got knocked out in the first round the next fight.
Winning
because he was just trying to get
winning a heavyweight division up 2 weight classes by split decisions in South Africa is what got him into the UFC. Everyone wants to fight.
They couldn't resist him.
All right, Brad.
Well, I completely recognize that he is not good. Barriault, he got taken down like 1 million times by Jungyang Park. That means you're probably going to get taken down by a guy that's way stronger and a pretty decent wrestler in Lungiambulance. So I am also going to be on not the Canadian here, but I kind of like the over more in this fight.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play this fight. Barriault's terrible. He's really bad. All he has is volume. Like, that's legit. He's just going to throw volume. For a big guy, the lack of power is almost astonishing. Like, he has nothing behind his punches, and he doesn't gas out because of it. Maybe, I don't know. But I feel like if I look at pure skill set, I think Lungiambulance, yes, is better. But I could also see Barriault just putting it on him throughout the first, second round, just really gassing him out. And then in the third round, Lungiambulance being basically dead. So I'm not going to bet this fight, but the pick is going to be the Canadian. Look at that. You two Canadians not supporting your fellow man. And me, going over to the other side and getting universal health care. All right. Featherweight division. Julian Erosa, old Juicy J versus another Canadian, Charles Jourdain. Michael Jourdain.
The hyped Canadian.
Yeah.
How's that worked out?
Good. He beat Rojo.
Hey,
good.
that was
a good win.
Knockout. I'm a guy that's won some money fading Juicy J and has lost some money fading Juicy J. Unfortunately, I for some reason didn't do it last time he was out there, and I think Choi's actually a decent fighter, so I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. He's bad. He's hittable. Jourdain, he likes to get hit, but I still think his offense will be enough to put away Juicy J. Most people do. Most people with power do. I'm taking a look at Jourdain inside the distance. It's like plus 115. I think that's worth a shot.
Yeah. Juicy J loves getting knocked unconscious. Brad?
He does. And Jourdain also loves not to get knocked unconscious, but he loves to get rocked in all of his fights.
Even the Landwehr fight, he won in 50 seconds. He still almost got knocked out.
Yep. I kind of want to go with the under in this one, just because I really can't trust or back a Canadian at this point in MMA. and under 2.5 is -150, which is not bad. So I think I might go in that direction on this fight.
Yeah, I will fade Juicy J at any line in any fight. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, it's gotten me in trouble recently. I actually didn't bet against Juicy J in the Sean Woodson fight because I am just a Sean Woodson hater because of his body. It grosses me out. I'm not gonna root for something that
I actually bet on Juicy J in that one.
Look at you.
Yeah,
but I think I bet against Juicy J in all of those losses when he got cut in that last run because he's terrible. And then he beat Nate Landwehr and Sean Woodson. Like, okay. Jourdain, yes, he has not lived up to the Canadian hype train, which shocking that always happens. But I think he's shown some skills. I think he has some issues figuring out how to win some fights and gets himself in some weird spots where he shouldn't. But Juicy J sucks, and he is going to give you the finish. He is going to just hand you the finish. He's going to come out Juicy J is going to come out like a fucking wild man, like he always does. He's going to get dropped. He's going to shoot a desperation takedown, and if he gets it, maybe he can get a finish. Maybe he lands something. I don't know. But I think more times than not, Jourdain can survive that, keep the fight in the feet, and just kind of batter Erosa here. And I think he gets – I don't know if he'll get the second round. I would say first or second round. I don't hate that under either, Brad. I don't think that's a bad play. When Juicy J wins, it's almost always by finish as well. So maybe the under 2.5 is a better parlay piece than Charles Jourdain, but I just don't see Jourdain losing this fight. I mean, Juicy J is a big bag of shit. That's not good. Just a dumpster fire, that guy. All right. Anyway,
skinny bag of shit.
He's just he's not like Sean Woodson, who literally it's hard for me to watch him fight because I'm so grossed out.
Can't even look at him.
I can't. It makes me fucking ill. I can't do it. I'm not going to put myself through that. Anyway, bantamweight division: Jack Shore, Ludwig Sholinian.
No, Ludwig van Symphonian.
Beethoven?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. New Sean, how's he going to die?
He's probably going to get choked out. This is... everybody wants to fight. I know there was two cancellations on Jack Shore. Of course, the Nurmagomedov had to run away because he was scared of the wrestling. And then some other dude that pulled out. So now we get a guy coming off a split decision win almost 2 years ago in some random ass promotion.
Everyone wants
to
to
fighting
fight.
Jack Shore.
Everyone. I mean, everyone wants to fight. Banging at the door. Let me on Fight Island. I want back. I know there's no fights there, but I want in. I'm going to wait on Fight Island.
Stay there. Stay ready. Stay there for when the UFC comes there, whenever.
There's just guys running around the beach on Fight Island, just staying ready. Like guys with 1-7 records.
It's getting close.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Jack Shore should dominate here. I think he gets a finish, likely a sub. Him inside the distance at plus money is a good bet.
Well, last night Dana White finally takes a guy who lost, right? And there's been guys before who lost where I thought the UFC is stupid if they don't take this guy. This dude is a badass and he lost to a bigger badass. This was not the case. There was two really bad guys who fought a not so entertaining or highly skilled fight. And the one guy basically stopped trying in the third round because he thought he had 2 in the can. And Dana White gave him a contract. They all want to fight. There's banging on the door. Everyone's running around Fight Island, taking flights.
Paul Felder was so convinced that guy was 2 rounds up in the fight.
Yeah.
So convinced.
That was a big misstep
on it.
Felder's pretty good, but that was a bad one.
That was the only thing he wanted to talk about in that fight. This Ludwig guy, I want to be a fan of him. He's Ukrainian, but he's very ugly.
Ooh, I don't like ugly people.
Nope. He hasn't fought in a long time, which I know means less than anything now. But of his, what does he have? 9 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Possibly more because there's 2 where the guys don't have records. 5 of them have come against guys that have 0-0 records.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So, he's fighting real quality opposition. So he is absolutely going to get trucked by Jack Shore in this fight. Shore is going to wrestle the shit out of him. That Welsh wrestling baby. And beat him up a little bit on the ground and wear him down and probably eventually sub him. This isn't even one of those spots where you can take Jack Shore round 3, which is normally my go-to bet in his fight to get a decent number, because I think he might get it done way before that in this one. But definitely Jack Shore to get a finish in this spot.
Yeah, full agreement there. I like Jack Shore. This one's kind of confusing when I was looking at the lines earlier today. So Jack Shore's at a minus, I think he's like minus 500 now, and he's a finisher. Like Jack Shore usually grabbing a neck, he's usually getting a finish. The inside the distance play is plus 110, and for a guy who is a gigantic favorite versus some random fucking Ukrainian guy, and Shore gets finishes, and you're getting plus money on it. I was kind of surprised about that, and the sub was like plus 190, which was extremely tempting because I think that's the most likely outcome in this fight. I would say it's a very likely outcome, but at plus 110 on inside the distance, I don't think it's worth going straight sub there with 70 cents difference. And Jack Shore he's going to play with his food here once they're on the ground. Like if he feels like it, he could ground and pound him out as well. So I didn't want to go the sub route, but at plus 110 and Jack Shore getting the finish here, I think that's a must bet. And this is going to be Munich. Yep. Jason Brown wants to know where Wes is.
Wes had a baby.
He passed.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he passed. Yeah.
He passed. He's done. He lives in Kentucky. It's probably something COVID related.
He's on the pace.
He told us he'll be back next week. When I had kids, especially my second child, I think I took 3 years off the podcast until I stopped doing it. Because really, you need your kids to be at least like 3.5 to like really function. So, but Wes said he'll be back next week. So,
but
no worries.
If he's not back next week, I think we've already got a guest lined up. So
yes, we do have a guest lined up, but it won't be next week.
There's no card next
There's
week.
no card.
Whatever. I just assume there's a shitty card every week.
So
don't worry. You remember when there was just like fights every weekend? And now we've actually got a couple breaks recently.
And the fight cards are even worse.
And then the next card, they don't even give you a good card after a break. It's fucking brutal.
It's almost worse. I mean,
Smith versus Spann is the motherfucking headliner.
It is not good. I'm looking through like the whole card. Like I'm trying to figure out what the co-main could be, and I just got. What's the co-main on that card? Do you think? What's that going to be?
Jim Miller versus Nicholas Motta.
It will be, won't it? It's going to be Jersey's own. Why is Jim Miller fighting on this card instead of just waiting for MSG?
Why is he fighting something called Nicholas Motta?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is, but they found a guy that Jim Miller is favored against in 2021.
Yeah, they had to dig deep on that one.
So that is impressive. All right, let's keep going. I got to go back to the card because I was looking at these wonderful cards that we got coming up. All right, so women's flyweight division: Molly McCann versus Ji Yoon Kim. Anything?
I mean, goes to decision is minus 305, minus 320, 360. It's honestly, it's probably worth it to parlay that small if you need to find something. I don't foresee an armbar from guard. The ladies do somehow bring it sometimes, but
always bring it.
I don't think that's gonna happen in this fight. I think this is gonna be a very bad, boring, long fight.
Brad, they don't sometimes bring it.
I don't know why Sean has to be such a misogynist. I mean, the ladies always bring it.
It's always Broughton.
Yeah.
They're
Never has
brought
it
for
not
15
been
minutes,
brought.
that's for sure.
All right.
Yeah. The ladies always bring it. I mean, I heard Invicta's doing pay-per-view.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Oh, is that a real thing? I thought.
Yeah.
You were
Yes,
joking.
that is.
How many buys did it
Millions
have?
of buys.
Probably less than it got on Fight Pass.
It got-
less new subscribers than
well,
it got
on Fight Pass, it probably got about 17 views. So the pay-per-view, who's that one MMA reporter who only watches women's fights?
Like the pervy one?
Well, I mean, I would assume he's pervy, but I can't. There's this one guy. He always talks about. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not, but I am picking Molly McCann.
The meatballs,
which makes me feel awful.
Oh Lord,
because she's terrible. But this little Korean chick, she's gotten out wrestled by some real bad fighters.
Why not one more?
She's gonna get out wrestled by a real bad British fighter now.
Yep.
Scary.
You find your buddy yet, Lance?
No, I gave up.
That's
good. Good call.
I give up.
Moving on.
A lot. Yeah.
Main card now.
Yep.
Yep.
Lightweight division. Patty Pimblett versus Luigi Carlos Valderrama. I don't know who this is. He's fought in the UFC 3 times. I have no recollection. He's one of those guys. One of the guys that I've seen fight 3 times, and I have no recollection. But I know for a fact I've seen him fight 3 times. New Sean?
Yeah, he's not good. I don't think Paddy Pimblett is that good either. I think there is some very bad stylistic matchups for him. I don't know if this is the one. I think the UFC is kind of throwing a softie on this one. So I think he probably wins, but I don't want to have money on it.
Brad?
I can confirm that Paddy Pimblett is not good. But I don't think this is the spot.
Not at that number.
It's not that high.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I want more to put money on Vendramini. I need a little more than what they're showing there.
You almost got a bit Patty soon.
Honestly, I'm considering it, but Vendramini's one of those guys that when he gets finishes, it's all round 1 finishes. So if he wins, that's probably how he wins. But Patty's kind of tough to finish. And I think when he has been finished in the past, I'm just trying to go off memory here, but I think it's been like decisions, and he got finished once by one of your favorites, Lance, Cameron or else.
Or else. Is he still fighting?
Yeah, he found out the or else. So I don't know. I don't think Vendramini's gonna get Patty out of there super early. So I guess his grappling is gonna take over, but he stinks.
He didn't change his nickname yet. It's Cameron Cam Cheetah else. Like that's what he went with, Cam Cheetah.
British people, man.
They better have cut him after that fight. That's stupid.
Cam Cheetah sounds like a failed competitor to Cam Soda.
So did he get cut? How do we know this?
I don't know.
I'm going to write the UFC a letter.
Handwritten, I hope. I assume.
Of course.
That's the most meaningful.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like Patty enough here. I not because of anything real. But I just don't. This guy has a lot of hype behind him. I think the UFC likes him a lot. I think they're going to want to use him for a UK show when that opens back up. I think he is pretty popular, and I don't think they were going to give him a fight that he's going to lose. Simple as that. I thought -135 versus a dude who's 1-2 in the UFC. I think that's a good spot for him. He's not very good, but he's exciting and he has some skills. So yeah, he probably wins this one, but I'm not laying juice on this. If it does go lower, if we get into, close to the pick'em range, then I think Patty actually might be a play. All right, light heavyweight division. Modest Bukaki party versus Khalil Rountree. You, Sean?
Very mediocre. Khalil Rountree. I had him by TKO at an absolute bullshit number. At the sketchy Russian book in his last fight, and watching him lose to fucking Pragneo was one of the most infuriating things I've ever seen. Because Pragneo is fucking horrible. And Rountree couldn't hit him. And he is very, very hittable and very chinny. Fuck that guy. I was on Michael Candy last time. I stole that one. I think the modest, mediocre Bukkake won that fight, but I'm due. I get fucked enough, so I deserved one there. I'll take the Bukkake.
Fred?
Remember that time we bet on Pragneo, Lance?
Mm-mm.
I think we had it as one of the 4 ever losses in Munich history.
Who was he fighting?
I don't know, one of the many people that he's lost to. But we were like, no, this one.
This is the time?
This is the time.
Was it against Sam Alvey?
It was against
I think it was against
Alvey. Yeah. Sucks. Maybe I shouldn't bet Rountree, but he's won 2 fights in a row now, so maybe Pragneo is really coming into his own.
He was getting hit a bit by Ike Villanueva.
Ike Villanueva, he's a very talented, in shape fighter.
I like the modest Bukkake here. I like the modest Bukkake in general. It's a favored pastime, if you will. But no, there's no but. Just Bukkake all over Rountree because he actually throws punches and Rountree doesn't, and Rountree retires all the time and hates fighting. And yeah, I'll take Bukkake. I think over here is like the over 1.5 is minus 140. And these guys aren't fat, but we're gonna get some fatties in this one.
Yeah, I kind of like Rountree in this one. I have no reasoning behind it, none. I think it's because you always remember the Rountree when he showed some good.
Eric Anders.
The what?
When he beat the shit out of Eric Anders.
Yeah,
and still couldn't get a finish. And I had him fucking TKO in that one too, or inside the distance. He just couldn't.
I think it was like his style in that fight and how good he looked, regardless of whatever opponent. Like he just looked like fucking good, right? And then he knocked out Gokansaki, and which means nothing, whatever. But I think I just get those moments. But he's not good at all. I don't think the modest Bukkake party is very good either. If Rountree throws, he wins. But does he? It's like Woodley. I don't know. I might end up playing Rountree. I'm gonna pick him in this. I haven't bet yet, so I'm kind of undecided, but I might be picking and betting Clear Rountree. But we'll see. I don't know. This card sucks. All right, welterweight division. Hilarious. Alex Morono gets a big win over Cowboy, and his reward, David Zawada on the worst card of the year. New Sean?
The hilarious thing about that is you're thinking, what the fuck is the UFC doing matching Morono up with Zawada? Turns out Zawada's original opponent dropped out, and Morono chose to fight Zawada coming off of that Cowboy win. Like, either...
he is from Texas, so there's no cure for stupid.
No, it's that sharp. You can use that.
Absolute, very, very intelligent business decisions going on with the... What is he? The Great White? Yes, he is.
He's very pale. Yes, very.
Yeah, he should beat Zawada. Zawada is he's not very good. I'm surprised at the number. Just like, man, I guess everybody knows how fucking washed Cerrone is because Morono beats Cerrone and he's only a minus 140, 150 favorite to David Zawada. That is not a good look for Cowboy. I'll take Morono. I think he throws enough volume. He might even be able to throw in some wrestling if he really wants to. I don't know how good Zawada's takedown defense is, and Morono isn't a good wrestler. but he still can out wrestle very shitty fighters. So I guess we'll see if that is still the case. Probably no bet. We'll see how degenerate I get on Saturday with the slim pickings.
Brad?
I think Morono, he's supposed to be a black belt, and he's supposed to be a pretty decent grappler. But I wouldn't recommend that he throws in takedowns against Zawada, because Zawada, he's one of those like sneaky, sneaky Germans. Those sneaky Germans.
They'll get you every time.
we know. But they actually have good grappling games. There's a couple good gyms over there, and like him and a couple of the other guys, Peter Zawada and guys like that have been in the UFC before, have actually got some sneaky submission wins. So I don't think that it's a good idea for Morono to grapple here. And honestly, I think this is pretty competitive on the feet. Zawada's not bad. I thought he could have beat that shitty, boring Russian in his last fight. So I think that's where a little bit of the line respect is coming from here. And honestly, I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards his side. I mean, Morono did just get out-grappled by shitty, worst, lightweight Anthony Pettis in a couple fights ago, and out-wrestled and out-grappled in that fight. So to see an actual welterweight be able to do it wouldn't be shocking to me.
Yeah, I laying juice on Alex Morono is just not something that that I'm going to do. So this is going to be a pass. But I think he wins more times than not. But I don't know if this is an easy fight per se, which I think makes his reason to take this even dumber. It's like, not that he's going to be this big thing, but it's like, I feel like he got played off the Cowboy fight for at least a big name guy that gives him a chance. Like, this fight does nothing for him except earns his 10-10. So that's good, I guess. But yeah, I'll take.
Hey, don't forget the $3,000 in Reebok money. Okay,
the Reebok money's big. That's life changing. Wikipedia still lists Alex Perez versus Snell. That's why it says 11, but it's actually 10. So we only got 2 fights left. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. We got the co-main event. Short notice Spivak is now co-main event material. Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Spivak. You, Sean?
It's hard to know how good Aspinall actually is. He's obviously beat the shitty heavyweights that you should beat, and in good fashion as well. He seemed a bit confused when he fought Andrei Arlovsky. I mean, I guess Arlovsky's done that to some younger fighters before. Yeah, so I guess that's not the worst thing. And then Aspinall just, I don't know, decided to do something, and I don't know if he just caught Arlovsky just completely by surprise when he did, probably. But regardless, it was a good finish against the guy in Arlovsky who has historically had really good sub-defense. Spivak, he's just one of those guys that he's just like around in the heavyweight division. He beats guys that he probably should. That Walt Harris loss, I guess, is the bad mark on his record in hindsight. But I mean, Walt's just one of those guys that can do dumb things in short amounts of time, one way or another. So I guess it's not that horrible. Spivak's pretty good, man. I mean, this is a fairly wide line. It is heavyweights. I'm thinking about sprinkling on the dog here. I think Aspinall obviously has the bigger name. He has the bigger following. Spivak is just some fucking dude from Moldova, but he's actually got some skills. So I think this is a good test for Aspinall. I'm just not sure if he's going to pass it.
Brad?
Sean, come over to the dark side.
The Spivak
dark side. Yep.
You're a big Spivak? If anything, it's the pale side, not the dark side.
I mean, both these guys are pale. So, but Aspinall is 10-2. He's got 9 first-round finishes. His first finish, or his first win outside of the first round, was in his last fight against Arlovsky, where it looked like he was gassing, and then he managed to take down a decrepit Andrei Arlovsky in the second round and get a choke. And his 2 losses, both fights that got out of the first round. So Spivak, I know he got stopped by Walt Harris in the first round, but Walt Harris, as they say in MMA parlance, explosive and athletic.
Very explosive.
So, you can't really hold that against him. So I think that Spivak's actually got some decent durability to him. And unlike most heavyweights, he can actually grapple a little bit. So if Aspinall can't get him out of there immediately, I think this is going to be trouble for Aspinall. I think that Spivak will win rounds 2 and 3, or win rounds 2 and 3 up until he's able to find a submission or like TKO finish on the ground. But I do like some Sergey Spivak in this one. I also like some fatties, even money plus money fatties. Don't see those so often anymore, and I think both of those have serious potential in this one. So Spivak and over 1.5.
Yep. Nope. Don't like that stuff. Spivak sucks, man. Like, he's terrible. Like, if he's not able to just like push you and pale all over you, it's tough for him. And I think Aspinall is going to be the guy who decides where this fight's going to go. I think if it's on the feet, I think he's got the better hands. I think he's got more power. I think if he wants to take it down, I think Aspinall can get this fight to the ground. I think he can keep it standing if he wants, which I think is probably going to be most of the game plan. Spivak's just so unathletic. He's just like outrageously unathletic. Like, it looks like bowling would take too much athleticism for him to be good at it, is kind of the athleticism I see out of Spivak. And I don't know. I know Aspinall has shown some issues, like first round of the Arlovsky fight, but like, this is heavyweight, man. Like, he is a prospect in heavyweight. Like, he is, sadly enough, right? Like, he is a prospect.
Spivak. They both are. Spivak's 26. He's 2 years younger.
Spivak has 2 losses in the UFC already, and he beat Jared Vandera, Carlos Felipe, and literally a dude who's 48. So I don't know if he's there yet, and he doesn't look impressive when he beats these losers. Like, he won like a split versus Felipe. That guy's a big bag of shit.
Shouldn't have been a split.
That guy's a giant bag of shit.
Can we pause for a second and go through how bad the UFC is in 2021? That there have been 1, 2, 3, 4 fights involving British fighters, and we've made a case for the British fighter being the better grappler in all 4 of those fights so far. Yep,
that's hard.
What the fuck are we doing these days?
That is, Aspinall's a way better grappler. I don't know, man. Aspinall just seems like he's got it. And I know you're taking the over, fat is whatever, but like when I look at heavyweight fights, like finishing ability is very important. When you look at the heavyweight division, more than any other division. And Aspinall can finish a guy. He can put him out early, he can put him out quick in multiple ways. Spivak can't. That's just not his game. He likes to kind of do some humpy hump, some lay, Tabura style, which I think he lost to Tabura too.
Yep. Good loss. Good competitive loss.
Yeah. I like Aspinall here. Man, Aspinall, I don't know. Like, I just, regardless of who he's fought, anything else, like, I just look at Aspinall and I don't know, he feels like he's got it, and he's very underrated on the ground. Like, he is good in the ground, and he can kind of do things in multiple ways, and I think he dictates where it goes, and I think he's better kind of everywhere. So I like Aspinall a good bit here. So I will have him in a parlay. Who am I parlay? I think I put him with maybe Jourdain. Winner. Middleweight division, Derek Brunson, Darren Till. Weird. Newshon.
You think it's weird? Why do you think it's weird?
I do think it's weird. Brunson's on a bit of a winning streak here, and Darren Till has lost 3 of his last 4, and he's facing a wrestler when Darren Till has the least amount of wrestling skill I've ever seen in my life. That's why
I had to jump in with that grappling point before we got to this fight.
It is weird. Like
Back to old times.
Brunson is on a pretty good streak right now. Brunson's won 4 in a row against pretty decent competition, like nothing, like no complete cupcakes. And Darren Till does nothing but lose. He's very, very, very good at losing. He's really done good at losing. He's moved up to 185 where he's too small. He couldn't wrestle at 170, and now he's facing a bigger, stronger wrestler on a winning. I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird to me. He's also been out a while. He had some weird shit going on. I think he's also has some kind of like mental disability. So I don't know.
I think that's just the way he talks.
Yeah, that's. I mean, wasn't he living in Brazil and he's British and.
He's a weird dude. I remember a couple years ago, he was like, I don't give a fuck about my kids. I'm just here to fight. Yeah. Fuck my kid. Yeah. It's like, okay.
I feel the same way about my kids. That's why I don't have any.
One of my peer, like one of my coworkers that I work with, all day, every day, with a guy like I'm closest with, he lives in Liverpool. And he says he'll just see Darren Till just wandering the streets, just going and getting, like, just wandering around.
With those bright ass teeth, you can fucking see him from miles away.
Yeah, Liverpool is kind of like a hotbed for MMA, isn't it? There's a lot of guys from there.
Sure.
Yeah, like Darren Till.
There's all kinds of guys from Liverpool in the UFC.
Name one.
Good guys?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, Darren Till. I mean. I've wasted so much money on Kevin Gastelum, including in the Till fight. That win does not look that great in hindsight. Darren Till really hasn't. I mean, he's only fought 2 times at middleweight, and he fought a blown up welterweight. Brunson's gonna wrestle his ass off. I hope he doesn't get memed. Darren Till does have the left hand. That's all he has, as we've known for years upon years, right, Brad? I think Brunson can out wrestle and he can smash this dude on the ground. Woodley did it. Brunson's a much bigger dude than fucking Woodley. I guess people are putting him stuffing Whitaker's takedowns. A bunch of them anyway in that fight. I guess they think that he's just a miraculous takedown defense artist now or something like that. Brunson's gonna get him down. I like Brunson a lot. I'm probably gonna have too much money on him, and I'm gonna get tilled again or something.
I'm still looking for a list, but Aspinall's from Liverpool. I got that far.
Well, yeah, he's the next heavyweight GOAT. So.
When I looked up
there's
the
at least like
there's
at least like 10 or 12 UFC fighters from Liverpool. Paddy Pimblett's from Liverpool. There's another one. This card.
You're doing a really bad job, Lance.
This card has 3. I mean, that's like 1 million. There's a lot. Molly McCann. 4 Liverpool fighters on this card. This is one card.
You're not helping your case here.
You're not helping yourself whatsoever.
There is a lot of UFC fighters from Liverpool.
This card was supposed to be in Liverpool.
That's the whole. That's why.
Right? Okay.
There's a lot of fighters. Isn't Bisping from Liverpool?
No, he's Manchester. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna find a list and I will get it over to you because there's a good bit.
I looked up the gym that Till is associated with, Team Cowbon, and Terry Edom was the second name on the list. So
haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, Terry Edom. You'll remember him from doing the Nesty plunge against Edson Barboza. Let's
see. All right, Team Cowbon. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Kaobon. Anyways, as far as this fight goes, Lance said that Till might have a mental disability. I think it's inspirational that Till has a physical disability, and he ended up fighting for a UFC title. I mean, the guy only has one half of his body that's functional, and he made it all the way to title bout. That's amazing. I mean, it speaks horribly to MMA and what a terrible sport this is. But good for him. Inspirational story, really.
Very inspirational.
The bad thing about that is it's very difficult to wrestle when only one half of your body works. So I think that Derek Brunson wrestling him is not going to go well. And the fact that I can get plus money on Derek Brunson and like actual plus money, plus 150 right now at times, and pretty much the same across the board, I am all over that. Yeah, I like Derek Brunson here. I don't even know if he's going to get a finish. There's always a scary moment or two in a Derek Brunson fight.
50 moments. The whole fight, 25 minutes of moments.
Every moment he's not on top of the guy.
Even when he is on top of the guy, he's gassed and scary.
It's Darren Till, so
yeah,
that doesn't matter. But yeah, there's going to be some scary moments. But Brunson's going to get takedowns. He's going to win this fight. And like he's facing a less dangerous guy than he did in Kevin Holland. And he's going to win. That's what's going to happen.
Fair. Our buddy George Johnson said we should watch a video of Till arguing with a cop for not wearing a mask. Is that the right angle? So Till got mad at the cop for not wearing a mask?
I doubt that.
I feel like the cop.
Based on MMA,
there's
know
no way
it's the other
Darren
way
Till
around.
is wearing a mask. He doesn't even know how to spell the word mask. So yeah. I like Brunson here. I've been riding this hot streak, man.
Yeah.
With my man Brunson. He's a good, dominant wrestler, and that's what he's going to do here. I think I don't know why Till would take this matchup. He's on a bit of a losing streak. He's too small for middleweight anyway. Hasn't won in a while. I don't get why he would take this fight. This is a dangerous fight for Darren Till, where if he wins, he's not really gaining much. And if he loses, he's lost 4 of his last 5. So I'm kind of surprised by this. I think Brunson can win this fight. Now, I will say, if this does keep going and Brunson doesn't get a ground and pound finish and we're in the 4th or 5th round, it's going to be a bit dicey. It's going to be scary because I think Till is going to be fresh enough, regardless of what happens in the first 3 rounds or so, where he is going to be dangerous enough versus Gas Brunson to be able to put him out. So this is going to be a scary situation. I think we can all admit that. It is going to be a bit scary with Till starting on the feet in the 4th round and Brunson so tired he might literally just fall down and just take a quick nap. But plus 150, man, we're getting the better wrestler, the stronger, the bigger fighter, guy in a winning streak, versus a guy who hasn't been fighting very much and hasn't a lot of success lately. So I like Derek Brunson here, plus 150. I don't know how you don't at least take a stab on this. So that will be the consensus bet of the week is on Derek Brunson, which I believe it's at plus 150 or so. So that'll be the consensus bet of the week. We appreciate you guys listening this week. Hopefully everyone enjoys the fights, gets some winners. I assume we will not have a show next week. We don't really do those. We don't really do those in between shows. We used to care more.
When there was good fight cards, they were good to recap.
Well, we used to do trivia and fun, weird shows. We don't do that anymore. I think that's also when people paid us a bunch for sponsors and stuff. So we cared more and was well, we should probably do the show. But then we were do we really? It's not worth to do all that. So it's just easier to just fuck around. But anyway, so we'll be back the week after next. Enjoy the fights. Always thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.